Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have done videos on Tim Sheridan quite a bit. Okay, I've done plenty of videos now that I think about it, and it's always about his Green Lantern comic books because his Green Lantern, he literally begged people to buy this comic book. He begged people to support the comic book for one reason and one reason only, and that was LGBTQ representation. There was no other reason why he wanted people to buy the comic book other than to stick it to the conservatives. You know what I mean? And now apparently he's come out, according to an article from Fandom Pulse, he's come out and openly admitted, even though I feel like he's done this already, he has openly admitted that his DC comic books are literally all just about pushing LGBTQ lifestyles. So let's get into this article, guys, from Fandom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to my manga channel. The links are in the description box below in my link tree. I would love to see you there. We're almost at 400 subs on that channel. It's insane. It says in the same interview where Tim Sheridan lambasted fans of Masters of the Universe over their dislike of Kevin Smith's series on Netflix and his push towards feminism, he called DC comic book fans who don't like his Alan Scott Green Lantern trolls. It highlights the entitled attitude of mainstream comic pros even further, as he admits his Alan Scott Green Lantern is all about inserting real-world identity politics into comic books and forcing readers to accept it. Now, this is nothing new, okay? Absolutely nothing new. We have seen this time and time again. We talk about it all the time to the point of nausea. Why? Because it constantly happens all the time. These people are going to keep doing this, and they're going to keep doing it so long as they get any sort of financial backing, whether that's from the actual people buying the comic books or whether that's from investors who were duped into thinking that LGBTQ comic books is what everybody wants, right? These people know how to dupe their investors. They know how to make certain things look better so that when they get their funding, they can go about their way, get paid while doing so, and destroy the entire IP that they're working on. Tim Sheridan is no different. He is going to push LGBTQ nonsense in everything he writes, and Green Lantern is also no different. It should not be a shocker to anybody. Tim Sheridan is literally woke garbage, and I hate using that saying because you know what? It is starting to lose its meaning. But when you want to know what woke garbage truly is and what it's defined as, just look at Tim Sheridan and what he's doing with his comic books, and that exactly is what woke garbage is. It says Tim Sheridan's Alan Scott Green Lantern has been the cause of a lot of controversy, mostly started by Tim Sheridan himself. When he first started marketing the comic, he made a cynical video urging people to buy the book to own the bigots, rather than talking about the merits of the story. This appears to be for good reason, as the entire intention of the book seems to be about converting people to homosexual lifestyles rather than telling a Green Lantern story. Now, I mentioned that earlier in the video. That particular moment is when I was like, all right, this guy's stupid, right? When he came out on Twitter and he literally made a video just all about owning the bigots and owning the conservatives, owning those right-wing trolls. You know, they always want to make everything into politics because in their mind, in their life, everything is inherently political. They have to make politics a priority. Otherwise, they start to lose themselves. They don't understand what the world is like without politics. They've seen everything through the eyes of politics. They've been talked to about politics. On their Twitter feed, it's about politics. Everything is politics to them. And yet, they just have to make it about that in comic books. It's just really weird. So again, Green Lantern for Tim Sheridan is all about putting a message out there. It says the first issue of Alan Scott Green Lantern borders on pornography as it has a page after page of Alan Scott half naked with another man. The series only gets worse as it goes along. With the third issue, he trolls docs in search of homosexual hookers known as gigolos. Alan Scott shows familiarity with one of these gay hookers, where the gay hooker even has a pet name for him, calling him Scotty. Now, I already did a video on this, so let's move on. In a recent interview, Tim Sheridan said stories like this are important because of the message. The interviewer actually begins by telling Tim Sheridan about how he didn't like DC Comics turning Alan Scott gay, thinking it was a travesty for the character, in which Tim Sheridan lectured him on why beloved characters have to be turned gay in order to proselytize the lifestyle. So they want to push the lifestyle. They want to normalize it, right? They want to make it into something that should be deemed as normal. Like, even though we know that LGBTQ people have been around forever, since the dawn of time, now they suddenly want to take the movement of LGBTQ and turn it into something that's really not about LGBTQ. It's not about that. It's about pushing a certain message of of control that they want to basically shove things down your throat and you need to accept it. You will accept whatever they write, whatever they put out with no questions whatsoever. And if you question it, you're suddenly a bigot. If you have a question about anything that's put out, you are suddenly a right-wing troll. Like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what your actual belief is. They're going to place you into a bubble, and they're going to try to put that bubble with you out there so that people view you in such, and that way they don't get any criticism. They don't get any backlash. They don't get any kind of backlash back at them, because that's how they avoid it. That's how they can avoid all this criticism about their content. They just want to live in a perfect world bubble. They want to live in a bubble that nothing will ever criticize them. They want to live in a bubble where everybody and their mother is gay. But the problem is, if everybody's gay, you're probably going to start running out of people. After a while, you're going to have a little bit of an extinction problem, especially those who are around in the 40s who cannot, for various reasons, be who they were openly and honestly, Tim Sheridan said. He continued, who live their lives a certain way and who come out of the closet late in life. And it's real, and it's worth telling their story. A new poll has shown that over 28% of Gen Z now identifies LGBTQ, which shows that this messaging actually manipulates people into these lifestyles rather than it simply being a matter of who they are, which appears to be exactly what Tim Sheridan is attempting to do with the DC comic books. Now, this number right here, 28% of Gen Z, stupid. Completely stupid. Everybody knows with a brain that Gen Z is following a fad. That's what they're doing. When you're young, you follow fads, okay? When I was young, being emo, being all these different things like jocks and whatnot, you were following a certain group, you were following a certain fad. Right now with Gen Z, being LGBTQ is the way to separate yourself from everybody else. It's the way to not be quote-unquote normal. And when someone wants to be out and separated from the crowd and wants to get all the attention, they're going to find the way to do so. And the way to do so right now is by identifying as LGBTQ. What do most people identify with LGBTQ who are part of the fad and don't actually partake in a lifestyle? What do they identify as? Bisexual. Because bisexual is the easiest way to get LGBTQ clout without actually committing fully to the anal. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can identify as bisexual, say that they like both sexes, and yet most of them exclusively date the opposite sex because they're not really bisexual. They want to claim to be bi. That way they could go to those pride events and be like, yeah, I'm part of the LGBTQ. I'm special. No, go fuck yourself. You're obviously lying. A lot of celebrities do this too. If you claim to be bisexual, I'm going to look at you as a grifter until you otherwise prove it. I need to see you getting absolutely railed by Actually, I don't need to see that, but I need proof that you're getting railed by Tyrone in the back. You know what I'm saying? If you're a dude and Tyrone's banging you, then I'll believe you. But otherwise, if I see you dating purely females as a guy or purely guys as a female, I'm thinking you're a grifter. I don't care if you identify as bisexual, to be honest. And again, I know there's actual real bisexual people out there. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying a lot of the 28% of Gen Z, probably 24% identify as bisexual. I'm serious. Like, the number is ridiculously slanted towards bisexual for a reason. It's easy. That's what it is. It's absolutely easy. It says, admitting it's about real world politics and not telling a good superhero story, doing honor to the character. Tim Sheridan says that's why it's so important. Alan represents real people. They're our fathers and our uncles and our neighbors and our brothers. Not my fathers and uncles, not my neighbors and brothers. I think I only know like maybe one neighbor who's probably gay, but still, like, you're not, dude, this is not real life, okay? This is not real life at all. The majority of adults, overwhelmingly 95% plus, are heterosexual. They are not homosexual. You cannot say this represents real world and real people. Like, bro, stop the nonsense. The interviewer apologizes profusely for not immediately accepting Alan Scott Green Lantern's transition to homosexuality, to which Tim Sheridan seems pleased. The man cringily proclaims one of my best friends is gay and how he's happy for him. Tim Sheridan demands that's the reaction that Alan Scott deserves from you too. Oh my God, man, the cringe, man. This comic book is absolutely cringe, man. I did a video on this particular still shot when it first came out and was released, and honestly, dude, I don't even care, man. I'm never gonna buy this comic book. I don't know anybody who's gonna buy this comic book. I'm sure it's probably one of the worst selling comic books of all time. It's a joke, and it will continue to be a joke because DC and Marvel and mainstream American comics are a joke. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.